Welcome to our Future Starts Now coverage on the NBA app and the Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel. We've got a very special event on tap today. It's the Basketball Without Borders All-Star Games coming to you live from the UCLA Health Training Center in Los Angeles, California. Hello, everybody. My name is Wendell Epps. I'll be bringing you today's coverage of all the games that we will be seeing here on display. This should be a lot of fun, folks. This marks the 10th Basketball Without Borders All-Star Camp dating back to 2015. Now, the whole program itself was created all the way back in 2001 as a way to unite young international basketball players and promote the sport across the world. Obviously, this game has become so global here in today's world of basketball, but especially in the NBA. And today, you're going to see 40 of the top high school age prospects from 29 different countries playing in this game. That's right. You're going to see a lot of countries be on display. You've got some players that are currently playing high school ball out in America, but all of these players that you'll be seeing on your screen today were born in another country outside of the U.S. And just to show you folks, how diverse the NBA has become, there were a record 135 international players on opening night rosters this NBA season alone. Now, more than 50 of those players actually were former Basketball Without Borders campers, including 4 players that were named 2026 NBA All-Stars. So a lot of talent on display, and these are guys on your screen that you might be seeing in an NBA uniform in just a short couple of years. So it really shows you how talented the players are in this kind of camp and really how things can go as time progresses. So there are 2 semifinals games happening right now. That's the way that it's going to work. They're both about to begin here shortly. We're going to show full screen of one of them here coming up, and that semifinal will be, they call their team names by NBA team names, which I think actually is pretty exciting. So we've got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Denver Nuggets. The Hawks will be the home team, and the Nuggets will be the away team. And then on the other court, there is the Chicago Bulls taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. And then there's 4 teams, so the winner of each game will face each other in the championship game, while the losers will play each other in a third place game. So each team is going to get at least 2 games here. But of course, just like any basketball player, any competitive athlete, you want to win. It doesn't matter where you're playing. So should be a lot of fun to see how things shake out here on the court today. And got a lot of players coming out here right now as we got our first games getting set to begin. Got the Lakers logo at center court. It's got to be really cool, right, for these young kids to be able to get this experience playing out here in a facility like this, being part of the NBA All-Star Weekend. Of course, many people know about NBA All-Star Weekend and all of the primary nationally televised events like the dunk contest, Rising Stars, All-Star Game. But there's events like this that the NBA puts on, which I think is absolutely fantastic as well. So once again, we have got the Hawks and the Nuggets going toe-to-toe. 8 minutes on the clock for this opening frame, and we are officially underway as the opening tap is easily controlled there by the Nuggets. And the guy that controlled that opening tap for the Nuggets, ball in his hands right now. Little hook shot there from Obina Akeze. He is a very solid player, folks. 7'1". He is the tallest player on the floor on either side, so he certainly could be a force here in this game, as there's the first bucket up and in there. 2 points right away. That's Tio Milic out of Poland opening up the scoring there for the Hawks. Jamie Udoka loses the ball there. The possession will stay with the Hawks. And kind of taking a little bit of a deeper dive of the teams that we're seeing right now. So right now at the line for the Hawks, this is Jamie Udoka out of Germany. 10 players are on each team, and this Hawks team has 10 players from 10 different countries, so a very diverse group, which I think is also something that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in an event like this. Is you've got all these different players from various countries, obviously different play styles. Not every country plays basketball the same way, so it'll be interesting to see how that kind of adapts. And then the Nuggets here currently trailing by 4. They've got 3 French players on their team, a very wing and guard heavy team. Of course, they've got a very solid big man there in Akeze, but they've also got a lot of athletic wings on the side. And there's a little up and under there from Garrett Barr. Can't hit it, but there's Udoka with the putback in the first 2 points for the Nuggets. This is Milic with it, right near that right wing. Hawks go around the horn. Milic will fire a deep triple, and that one can't fall. Now Akeze will fire a deep triple. That one hits the front of the rim off the mark. His dad actually played in the NBA. Obina played in the NBA for a couple years, 143 games career played. As the Nuggets thought they had possession back, but it'll actually stay here with the Hawks. And all prospects that you're seeing here today, they were all born in 2008, range from about 17 to 18 years old. So some of these players will be playing college ball coming up in the fall. Some players still got another year left of school. Kind of a wide range of prospects that you have here. But again, all of these folks out on the court are international ball players. As the hook shot can't fall there from Stefan Ilic. And that's a funny thing when you've got two games happening at once. You got the ball from the other court coming in to the other side. As the Nuggets will retain possession here. Sanchez Fernandez running the point right now. Now Akeze hands it off. Akeze working one-on-one on the low post. This is what he does. Little turnaround J. Can't hit it. He plays high school ball here in America at Southeastern Prep down in Central Florida. So accustomed to being here in the States. And as I mentioned before, his dad, a former NBA player. So already knows what it takes to try and become a professional out there on the court. And there are a lot of coaches, a lot of scouts. That's a cool thing about this Basketball Without Borders event, and obviously having it here at an event like All-Star Weekend where so many teams are here on display. I know a couple of former NBA players are in attendance. Vlade Divac, who of course had an incredible NBA career, also an international player. Danilo Gallinari out of Italy, one of the greatest Italian NBA players of all time. As, oh my goodness, trying to go for a little poster action there. Couldn't get it the first time, but the putback is a success for Peter Julius out of Nigeria, considered a four-star prospect in the class of 2028, is Julius, and that'll be a fun matchup with him and Akeze down low. Now it's a couple efforts there from the Nuggets. Can't fall, had about 4 shot attempts. And the ball goes out of bounds, but it will remain there with the Nuggets. A lot of countries being represented in this event. Australia, Canada, and France have the most prospects out here, 3 players from each nation. And you'll pretty much hear me name pretty much any big country that you can think of outside of the U.S., and even a few that might not have prominent NBA players yet, but are on track to do so in the coming years, as of course this game is just becoming so global. And that is one of the great things about the NBA. Obviously, the last couple MVPs have been international. You think of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who actually was part of Basketball Without Borders. He was a Basketball Without Borders All-Star back in 2016. Jamal Murray's another Canadian who also was a Basketball Without Borders All-Star back in the year of 2015. A couple other alumni that have played in this program. Pascal Siakam, Joel Embiid. So a lot of great players that have taken the floor in different camps. And they do camps all throughout the year. This is just one of the marquee ones that they do as part of the NBA All-Star Weekend. 6-2, the Hawks have the early lead right now as the jumper is on the way and too strong from Udoka. Now we'll go around the horn. This is Akeze, little right-hand hook shot. It's an air ball. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay here with the Nuggets. So the Hawks playing some pretty good defense so far, currently leading by 4. Nuggets still trying to settle in right now. 4:06 remaining here in the first. Shot is on the way, too strong, and Possession will go to the Hawks, who again make another nice defensive stop. And there goes a deep outlet pass. That is what you like to see in the and one. Count it for Ramsey Jesagbasoto out of Central African Republic. So a 9-2 lead for the Hawks. And with a camp like this, the games are going to move pretty fast, and we're going to kind of see a different rotation of players pretty much every couple minutes, just because I'm sure the coaches want to make sure that all 10 guys get a good amount of playing time to showcase their skills. Because as I mentioned before, a lot of former NBA players and coaches are on tap here today to watch this event. As the 3-ball falls there. Nuggets now within 4. That's a good bucket for them. Hopefully that can get them on track offensively. Left corner 3 on the way. Too strong. Rebound in the hands of Benedict out of Japan. He'll fire a jumper and nothing but net. How about that? For Kinichiro Benedict, who also plays his high school ball here in America. Over up at St. George's, Rhode Island. Also has played for the Japan youth national team multiple times as well. And there's a little floater up and in for Frank Bilibi out of Cameroon. And Bilibi's an interesting prospect. He's already committed to Pacific, so he'll be playing his college ball there. And played with Cameroon at last year's FIBA U19 World Cup, averaging a little over 14 points a game. So a player that's got a lot of talent. Deep 3 on the way, rattles out. And starting to see the pace pick up, which is kind of as expected as these players start to settle into this contest. Down low and another and one. This one belongs to Adrian Isaac Porras out of Mexico. And as you can kind of see, the and ones, no free throws. They just give them 3 points to keep these games moving fast, because we've got a couple games to play. We've got this semifinals action happening right now, and then we've got a third-place game and a championship to get to. So we got to move fast. But these players already showcasing their athleticism as the rebound goes in the hands of Anderson Diaz. Loses control of the ball. And in transition, oh my goodness, the lob off the backboard. How about that? Jackson Ball threw that ball off the glass, and it was finished by Cameron Window out of France. So a little Showtime action in Los Angeles. And if that doesn't show you how much talent we've got on display here in this game, I don't know what will. I mean, there's a 50-50 chance that you'll even see plays like that in an NBA All-Star game, just because, I mean, that's a play that is very special. So what a nice play there by the Nuggets, but the Hawks still have a 9-point lead right now. Appreciate everyone joining us today on the NBA app and Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel, as we'll get a foul on the floor. And if you're just joining us, 40 players participating in this Basketball Without Borders camp this weekend. Series of All-Star games happening right now. 2 semifinals, Nuggets, Hawks on court 1. And on the other court, you've got the Bulls and the Clippers. And the winners of each game will face each other in the championship, as the pull-up 3 is up and in transition. And the Hawks now take a 12-point lead, 21-9, with 1 minute left. So a very strong start for a Hawks team that has kind of just been playing prolific two-way basketball, getting stops defensively, but also getting quick buckets and moving fast offensively, as you see the floater drop in for Matthias Mop. And the jumper dropped in on the other end. 12-point lead the Hawks take now. This is Bilibi with it. Fires a pull-up J from the elbow, draws a foul on Benedict. And these shots, they don't give them free points. You got to earn them at the stripe. But these players have been here all weekend doing a bunch of stuff. Today is probably the most exciting part for them, actually being able to play live 5-on-5 games. But The other part of this camp involves a lot of athletic testing, movement efficiency, skill development stations, 3-on-3 competitions, even a life skills seminar. So you've got a lot of developing things and sessions that you get to take part of as a player here, which makes this invitation to an event like this really special. As the first period is winding down here, 23-13, Hawks lead the Nuggets as we'll get a foul on the other end of the floor. We got a 23-13 score here, but Clippers and the Bulls playing on the other court. Clippers currently leading 18-16. As a reminder, the winner of that Clippers-Bulls game will face the winner of this Nuggets-Hawks game in the championship. The losers will still have another game. They'll play in that third-place game coming up after this. Clock now down to 11 seconds as Mop has it right near that Lakers logo. Receives a screen from Window. 4 seconds remain. Loses the ball. Gets it back. Three-pointer on the way as the horn sounds and it drops in for Frank Bieleby. So that'll make it a 9-point game after one. And that'll give you some momentum heading into the next frame. The Nuggets, who started off a little sluggish offensively, picked things up towards the end. The Hawks with a very consistent performance there in that first frame, leading 25-16. We saw some very nice plays, including that one highlight play with the lob off the glass, finished by Cameron Window. And you see right there on your screen, Danilo Gallinari, who I mentioned, is one of the many former NBA players coaching at this event. He is on your screen right there. Tallest guy, so not easy to find. He is coaching up that team right there with the Nuggets. And, of course, Gallo played for over a decade in the NBA, and again, that's just one of the cool things about this Basketball Without Borders event is seeing these former international players that played the NBA that also were once part of Basketball Without Borders, now giving back to the next generation of international prospects, and it's really great to see. And you see right there on your screen, the team that's currently leading right now in the Hawks, 25-16. So they get a lot of big names to be able to coach them up, a lot of great experiences to be able to hone in on their skill set and just get better and better. And now we'll see what the second half has in store for us here as 25-16 is your score. And in recent years, as I mentioned, this is the 10th time they're doing this Basketball Without Borders All-Star event. In recent years, they've had many NBA players that have participated in this, have excelled, and are now actually in the NBA. In 2024, he actually had Will Riley out of Canada. He was named the MVP of the Basketball Without Borders Global Camp during All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis that year. And Riley, of course, was the 21st pick in last year's NBA draft, currently averaging 7 points a game for the Washington Wizards. Other players that are currently in the NBA that were part of that, Kasparas Jakučionis out of Lithuania, 20th pick by the Miami Heat. Kamon Malawach, 10th pick, playing for the Phoenix Suns right now. So there are definitely guys out here that are continuing to hone in on their skill sets, continuing to get better. And in just a few short years, I mean, that year I mentioned 2024, it was not that long ago, folks. So in a couple of years, you could see a couple of guys on your screen today getting drafted into the NBA and playing some significant minutes for a team. Here comes Milic now. Bounce pass into the hands there of Julius. He'll fire a jumper from the right elbow. Can't hit it. Second opportunity now for the Nuggets. And they lose control of the ball. They get it back. Deep triple on the way, and it rattles home. So the Hawks now take a 12-point lead. 28-16 here. I know it still says first on the score bug, but actually the second here, as we've already been through 1 7-minute frame. The Hawks currently leading the Nuggets 28-16. This is Udoka stepping back, firing a rainbow triple and knocking it down with ease. And that gives the Hawks their largest lead now, 31-16, up by 15. So we'll get a foul on the other end. Yishuan Yang out of China, attacking inside. One of 2 Chinese players partaking in this camp this weekend. Just how about the international talent that also came in last year's NBA draft? You know, you just talk about international players overall, but specifically with young NBA players, a lot of them are international. I mean, you had 23 players from 15 different countries selected in the 2025 NBA draft. That was the second most international players selected in an NBA draft, right behind 2016, where there were 27 players picked in that year. And it's just only going to seem to continue to increase. Obviously, we had back-to-back years recently in 2023 and 2024 with Victor Wembanyama and Zachary Risacher, both from France, being picked number 1 overall. Also, after Risacher, you had Alex Sarr, the number 2 pick in that draft that year. So these international prospects that are young are not just getting the opportunity to enter drafts, but they're also getting picked at pretty high numbers as well, as we'll get a shot clock violation there, and possession will flip over to the Nuggets. If you're just joining us, the Nuggets, the away team in those blue uniforms. The Hawks are the designated home team wearing the white uniforms. As we'll get a reach-in foul on the floor. The ball will be thrown inside out. This is Akeze with it, picking up his dribble. Hands it off in the hands there of Sanchez Fernandez. Back down low to Akeze, trying to go up strong, and he draws a foul. So Akeze will head to the line now. A great experience for one of the top prospects in the class of 2027. So we'll get another year coming up to develop his game before he exits high school and then heads to the next level of basketball. And having the chance to play here in Los Angeles for this prestigious Basketball Without Borders event. Hey. Milic attacks inside, can't finish with the right hand, ball batted around. Second chance up by Julius, that one can't go. And the rebound goes in the hands there of Swan Penda. Swan Penda has an older brother in the NBA, Noah Penda. Plays for the Orlando Magic as Penda spins inside, can't finish, ball batted around, and the rebound goes in the hands there of the Nuggets as three-pointer in transition can't fall. Three ball on the way, it's in and out there from Barr. Second chance by Penda, can't go. And look at Akeze battling for the board, going up strong, and third time's a charm. He will get fouled and head to the free throw line. So some incredible hustle effort here by the Nuggets, who, despite trailing 11, are still battling back in the early stages of this game. As the free throw's on the way from Akeze, and he knocks that one down. Gets the game within single digits, 29-20. Approaching 4 minutes remaining here in our opening half. Milic goes between the legs. Gets a screen there from Julius. Steps back, fires a J from the elbow, and that one too strong. And look at Akeze. This is a 7'1" guy going between the legs, bringing the ball at the floor. He is not the first 7-footer in recent years to be able to have those skills as Penda throws down a dunk on the other end of the floor. So don't look now. The Nuggets starting to make a little push here midway through the second, as we'll get some substitutions on the floor.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what was happening.
And we'll get some full court pressure being applied here as well, looks like, from the Nuggets. Anderson Diaz will bring the ball up the floor here out of the Dominican Republic. And almost getting a steal there was Cameron Window, but they're going to say that he reached a little too hard on that play. So ball will be thrown out on the side here. Lyris Robinson will pass it in for the Hawks. And Robinson plays at Bella Vista Prep, who actually participated in the Levante Global Cup, an event that we broadcasted here on the NBA app a few weeks ago. One of his teammates, Paul Usarui, also in this event, playing on the other court right now in the other semifinal matchup. Between the legs, attacking inside and trying to go for the home run was Window. Oh my goodness. That is an athletic kid right there, and if you want to see more plays or see his full potential at the rim, I suggest that you Google Cameron Window highlights, because there are some that I was looking at on YouTube prior to this broadcast, and I was blown away. So I'm not surprised to see that he almost threw the house down on that play. He did have that dunk that was thrown off the backboard from his teammate Jackson Ball in that first quarter, and he threw that down, and he almost did one again. So who knows? Maybe we could see another dunk from the young fella here in a couple moments. 29-24, Hawks lead. Bella Vista also had a game last night as well in LA. So it's been kind of a busy weekend for some of those Bella Vista Prep players, but it's that time of the year, folks, with high school basketball and also AU season looming on as well. These players are young. They can play all the basketball they want. They're totally cool with that. As a three-pointer in transition can't fall there for Matisse Mop. And in transition, here come the Hawks, as we'll get an offensive foul. And the Nuggets, who now only trail by 5, they could make it a one-possession game with a field goal here. Have a chance to make this game more competitive, as we'll get a timeout on the floor. So 29-24 is your score right now. Appreciate everyone joining us today on the NBA app, Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel. Wendell Epps here to bring you today's coverage, and starting to see in this second quarter just overall takeaways that these players are really starting to settle in now. I think you're starting to see a lot more ball movement, which, you know, sometimes in an event like this, you don't know how much you'll see, especially from the beginning, because, of course, these players don't play with each other on a regular basis. Some of these players don't even speak, well, probably a good amount don't even really speak the same language as each other, just because you have so many players coming from these different countries. But you've got so much skill and talent on display that, you know, once these players lock in, and share that ball, good things can happen. And I think you're starting to see that here in the second quarter, especially from the side here of the Nuggets, who have been able to make a nice comeback after they were trailing by double digits in the first, now just down by 5 with about 2.5 minutes remaining here in the second. This is Frank Bieleby. Swings it over in the hands of Jackson Ball. Three-pointer is up and in. Nothing but net for Mr. Ball, and the Nuggets are now within 2. So the Hawks gonna try and look for some offensive momentum here. Here's Diaz tossing and crossing his way to the elbow. Three-pointer on the way, and it is nothing but net as the Hawks retake a 5-point advantage. That was Lyris Robinson that drained that triple with ease. One of the few Canadians here in this event. A little up and under is no good, but a foul will be called on Mop. Free throw coming up, 1:48 remaining. Matthias Mop out of France. Currently plays for the French Federation Academy. His free throw is up and in. That'll give him 2 points. And here comes Diaz, activating the need for speed down the floor. Oh my goodness, look at that spin move. Getting inside. Left-hand floater's up. Can't get that one to fall, but he is fouled. And he will get 1 shot worth 2 points now. I'm already seeing some good flashes from this Diaz kid. Just bursted straight down the floor, no hesitation, and earned himself a well-deserved trip here to the free throw line. Dominican Republic, talk about some players that have been able to come out of that. Dominican heritage, Karl Anthony Towns, Al Horford, Chris Duarte. And maybe Anderson Diaz might be added to that list in a few years. Here's a deep shot on the way from window to Sharon. He's an athletic kid with bounce, but he also has a little bit of range that he can show as well. Diaz has it right near that Lakers logo. Picked up by Window, attacks inside, shoots with the left hand, and it rattles in. So Diaz was able to split through the teeth of the defense and scored as the Hawks now take a 7-point lead here. Beeleby loses control of the ball. Possession will stay with the Nuggets. They're trying to close this first half with some momentum on their side. Screen set. Mop attacks near the baseline and finishes with the right hand. That was an excellent screen set by Window. Mop took advantage and got the easy deuce at the rim. And some tight defense supplied there by Jackson Ball out of New Zealand. And that is that New Zealand toughness that you see. I mean, you've got so many continents from Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America, all these different continents, and then you get more specific with the countries, just have a variety of play styles, right? You talk about like the Europeans having the fundamentals, especially the passing lockdown. Those athletes from Africa with the athleticism. Canadians with their versatility and all-around play and knowing how to score at will. As Diaz misses that first free throw there. (37-31), Hawks take a 6-point lead. First half winding down. Sweet bounce pass inside. Ball couldn't finish, but the putback is up and in by Window. And a quick foul right after that as Diaz, who's been running the point pretty much for this entire quarter for the Hawks, was trying to get some more points on the board. So Diaz has one more coming up. Free throws on the way, and it is up and in. (38-33), Hawks lead by 5 with 16.7 seconds remaining. So we'll get a timeout now as the Nuggets will strategize. Both players will take the floor here again as the Hawks lead the Nuggets by 5. 16.7 seconds remaining. Winner moves on to the championship to face the winner of that Bulls-Clippers game. The losers will face each other in that third place game. Good response here in the second by the Nuggets. Get word that the Clippers defeated the Bulls 36-33. So the winner will face the Clippers in that championship as the three ball is on the way. Hits the left side of the rim. Rebound goes in the hands there of the Hawks. And Diaz gets it. Clock will run out. Diaz will just finish with a nice little flashy up and under. And that'll take us to the end of this game here, as the Hawks will win 40-33 over the Nuggets. The two halves wrapping up quickly, and that means the Hawks will move on to the championship, and we will see this Nuggets team shortly in the third place game coming up. So still a lot of talent showcase out here in these games, and it's exciting to see these different players be able to battle back and forth. A lot of competition and great display. These young players just so talented. We saw some nice dunks. We saw some great passes. And I think we saw more players start to settle in more. So the good news is for both teams, even though you won, whether you lost, you're still going to get one more game, and that'll be coming up shortly. But we're going to take a break here as our first game is officially over. We'll be back in just a moment. Stick with us right here on the NBA app and Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel. Welcome back into our Basketball Without Borders All-Star Games, coming to you from the UCLA Health Training Center in Southern California. Wendell Epps here to bring you today's coverage. You see right there on your screen. They call him the Rooster, Danilo Gallinari, out there with all these young players as we're getting set for our next slate of games coming up. It'll be the third place games first, followed by our championship. We just saw the semifinals wrap up here a few moments ago between the Hawks and the Nuggets. A good game there between those two teams. And how the players, no rest for the wicked, will head straight back out into the floor to come out here as the Hawks took the win in that first game, and the Nuggets will come back out here to play this third place game right now. So we'll get set to redo things here again. And you've got the Bulls is the team that they are facing here on the floor. So a little matchup here as got the Nuggets and the Bulls to begin this one. Again, 2 8-minute halves. These games will move pretty fast as we got a chance to see who will be our third place runner-up here in this series of the All-Star games. Ball is loose, it's controlled, and oh my goodness, a floater from the three-point range. Can't fall there by Swan Penda. It was a good look there. Now here come the Bulls. They're going around the horn. Jumper's on the way from Harry Cook. That one can't fall. And a turnover by the Nuggets on the other end. Going up inside strong. And not finishing there as still waiting for our first bucket of this contest. Lucas Sanchez Fernandez will bring the ball up here. This is Obina Ekeze. Might want to start feeding this guy in the post, and right on cue, the lob to Ekeze for the first 2 points for the Nuggets, scoring in style. That is exactly how you want to start the party if you're the Nuggets. And obviously both of these teams coming off a loss in their last game. Want to try and get out here with a W. At least take one home. As we'll get a foul on the other end of the floor. But not too surprised to see that athleticism by Ekeze. 7'1". He's the tallest camper out here. And it's got a long wingspan, very athletic as well. As Isaiah Santos out of Brazil will shoot this free throw for the Bulls, and he knocks that down. Santos plays at Seven Lakes High School in Texas and played in last year's FIBA U17 South America tournament, averaging 15 points a game there as attacking inside and finishing using glass very nicely is Lucas Sanchez Fernandez. He's a Spaniard. A lot of great players, of course, have come out of Spain throughout NBA history. The Gasol brothers, Jose Calderon, Rudy Fernandez. Hugo Gonzalez, a first-round pick last year out of Spain. So that is a country that has had a lot of international dominance, especially at some of the biggest events, including the FIBA World Cup and the Olympics as well. As a 3-ball falls for Santos, gives him a 5-4 lead here. Here's Ekeze with it near the top of the key. Trying to muscle his way inside. Does, and finishes easily with the left hand. The hustle and muscle inside the paint from the Nigerian. Here comes Shek Niang, and he attacks inside, draws a foul. Niang's a player that was born and raised in Italy, but has roots from Senegal. His brother is a pro basketball player in Italy, so comes from a basketball family, and Niang just 17 years old, will turn 18 in September. Actually, one of the youngest players out in this camp when you go by date of birth. Sanchez Fernandez will throw it down low in the hands of Akeze. Working one-on-one against Harry Cook. Hook shot with the right hand, can't go. Try to get the putback. Second chance is up. That one can't fall. Third time. Drops, though, for Akeze. So he's got 3 buckets already for the Nuggets to begin this contest. And Akeze, you can see he's vowed to be more aggressive in this game. I thought he showed flashes in that first game that we showed you against the Hawks. But here in this game against the Nuggets, against the Bulls, excuse me, he's just showing a little bit more of aggression inside that paint. Barr loses control of the ball, ripped away there. Good double team action. The ball is picked up by Shek Niang. Give it over to Santos, back in the hands of Niang. Spinning and winning his way inside. Can't finish the J, and the rebound goes in the hands there of Akeze. Now this is Swan Penda driving inside and draws contact and a foul. And we'll get ball side out. Jumper's on the way, and that is going to be a shot clock violation there as possession will flip back over to the Bulls. I'm getting word that we're seeing some more professional athletes walk into the building. Looks like Taco Fall has just walked in, which I don't think you need to be 90% sure about Taco Fall, how tall he is. I think it's a safe bet if you see anyone over 7 feet. 7'6" to be exact. It is probably Taco Fall, who actually had a really good showing in the NBA Celebrity Game on Friday, one of the other events throughout NBA All-Star Weekend. A lot of other notable former NBA players were in that. Jeremy Lin, a couple NFL players as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, Rome Flynn took home the MVP, but Taco Fall put up a double-double, and not surprising. These are kids out here that are taking part in a Basketball Without Borders event where, if you're just joining us, this is an event that All-Star Weekend has done since 2015. 10th time that they're doing this. The only time they didn't do it was during the COVID year, but outside of that, they've been doing this every year since 2015. And it's bringing prospects from all over the place: Africa, the Americas, Asia, Europe, and everywhere in between. And this is just one of the many camps that they do throughout the year. They do a lot of different camps in specific areas around the world, in Africa and Europe, and they do it for the boys, but they also actually do it for the girls as well, which I think is also very special. And then they've had a lot of alumni that have, of course, made it to the NBA, but a couple alumni that have also made it to the WNBA as well. Dominique Malonga, who was the number 2 pick in last year's WNBA draft, plays for the Seattle Storm. Aaliyah Edwards out of Canada. There's a lot of talented on the women's side that also get to participate in events like this, which is very great for the game. You get young boys and girls all over the world to get this kind of training and exposure and development in the world of basketball. And there was a Basketball Without Borders All-Star game at the WNBA All-Star Weekend last year in Indianapolis, and now we're seeing one here for the boys here in LA. And today will conclude All-Star Weekend. Of course, yesterday being the All-Star Saturday events, 3-point contest, dunk contest, Damian Lillard winning his 3rd straight title, Keyshawn Johnson winning the dunk contest. But one of the great things about All-Star Weekend, we get to see the next generation also get some opportunity to shine. Turnover in transition. On the other end, we'll get a 3-pointer. It's up and in, nothing but net for Jai Fale out of Australia. And on the other end, the easy layup will fall. So the Bulls and the Nuggets starting to go back and forth as this first half winds down. That was Matthias Mop getting the bucket. And here come the Bulls on the other end. The jumper rattles in. We're all knotted up at 12 apiece. This is our 3rd place game. We'll get our championship between the Hawks and the Clippers following this contest as the floater drops in easily. And now we are really starting to see the pace start to ramp up here on both sides. As Fale goes between the legs, steps out, swings it in the hands of Gabriel Sularski out of Poland. Now a one-on-one matchup. This is Paul Usarui, loses control of the ball, and he fouls Frank Bieleby in transition. So we'll get an inbound out here from the side. Bieleby gets it across the timeline. Nuggets leading the Bulls by 2 here as our first half winds down. Quick games in this showcase as the jumper drops in there from Clark Luca Riethauser out of a country we haven't said yet, Switzerland. He played in the FIBA U19 World Cup, so again, you just think of any big country in Europe, you probably will see it here on display here in today's All-Star games as the jumper is in and out there like a fast food restaurant for Fale. And we'll get a reach and foul on the other end. And it's amazing just to see the history of Basketball Without Borders. Launched back in 2001. They've staged 84 camps in 56 cities across 36 countries and 6 continents. And the program's been able to reach a lot of campers, including this young fella, Cameron Window, with the easy dunk, and that gives the Nuggets a 6-point lead. By count, that's Window's second dunk and third dunk attempt overall here in these games, as we'll get a quick 3-ball in transition from Isaiah Santos. And the track record is really good for these kids that participate in these Basketball Without Borders camps. I mean, you have a total, by count as of now, 143 campers that have been able to advance either the NBA or the WNBA from these camps all across the world. This free throw will come up here for a mop, and that one rattles home. So that will give the Nuggets a 5-point lead. First half winding down, 20 seconds remain. Fale with it, tightly defended right now by Bieleby. Game clock down to 10. Stutter stepping inside and drawing a foul there is Sularski. Sularski out of Poland, considered a 3 to 4 star prospect. Plays for Leighton Christian in Utah. And Poland's another interesting country when you talk about just players that have roots or ties to that country. Probably the name for back in the day would be Marcin Gortat, but a couple other players like Jeremy Sohan, Brandon Pajenski, other players with Polish ties. As the floater in transition can't fall there, but a foul as Mop, who's been pretty aggressive for the Nuggets here in this first half, will earn himself a trip to the line. And France is a country that you do not need to even think twice about how many players they've been able to produce from that country. And obviously Tony Parker really was one of the trendsetters, but you just talk about in recent years, I mean, it just seems like you're getting more and more talent from that country. Obviously Victor Wembanyama, the most prominent name now, but other players up and coming like Alex Sarr, Zachary Risache, the list goes on and on. As the half-court heave to end the first half goes, it's missed, and that'll take us to the end of the first half as it is officially halftime. The Bulls trailed the Nuggets 22-17 here at the Basketball Without Borders. Appreciate everyone joining us today on the NBA app and Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel. Wendell Ebbs here to bring you today's coverage. This is our third place match right now. Our championship will follow this, with the Hawks taking on the Clippers. But that first half, I think you saw players really settling in more from that first game. Saw some good ball movement. I think we saw a lot of spurts as well with just fast-paced energy going toe-to-toe. And that is a unique thing with a lot of these players, especially the guards. I mean, and even the bigs, quite frankly. That is just the way basketball is now. It has really become a positionless sport. Players are going out there and just trying to do what they can to be able to score inside and out. You've got 7-footers that can bring the ball up the floor, that can shoot threes. You've got guards that can jump up in the air, get blocks, can throw down some mean dunks. It should be interesting to see what the second half will bring, as the winner of this contest will be able to say that they have taken third place here in this Basketball Without Borders All-Star Games. And I'm sure when these players, they're about 17, 18 years old now, but I think even in a short few years when they're 22, 23, and definitely, 10 years from now when they're in the latter stages of their 20s, they will be thinking about just how cool of an opportunity this was. Not many players can say that they got to participate in a Basketball Without Borders All-Star Game. Only 40 players get to say that they competed here in this year's All-Star Game, as we see a quick bucket to open up the second half for the Bulls. This is Akeze with it near the left wing. Overhead pass out into the hands there of Sanchez Fernandez. And a turnover there from the Nuggets as the Bulls bring in a little source of energy to kick off this second half. Here's a 3-ball on the way, and that one would have tied the game. We'll get a loose ball foul on the floor. So possession is going to remain here with the Bulls. If you're just tuning in, yes, these team names are just based off NBA team names. So Bulls, of course, Chicago Bulls, Nuggets, Denver Nuggets. And then in our championship game, we'll see the Atlanta Hawks take on the Los Angeles Clippers. Here's Abdullah Musa with it for the Bulls. Musa goes between the legs, trying to create some separation inside. Pass nearly turned over, and it does after a second deflection. And now here come the Nuggets in transition. 3-ball on the way from number 23, Gurr Barr. And that one hit the left side of the rim, but possession will remain with the Nuggets. Sanchez Fernandez, oh my goodness, great pass inside to Swan Penda for the easy deuce. And that's something, if you're a coach or scout, you're looking at the little things like that. How can players execute those inbound plays? You think of scenarios in college NBA games that can be the difference between you winning and losing. It can be those inbound plays, especially in late stretches of the game. 3-ball drops in on the other end from Yu Liu out of China. So now the shots are really starting to fall on both sides. Penda gives it over to Akeze. 3-ball from the top of the key. That's a 7-1 center firing a 3-ball. And we'll get a travel on the other end of the floor there from Shek Niang. Six minutes remain in the second half. Tight contest on tap with the Nuggets leading by a deuce. Championship game will follow suit right here on this exact court at the UCLA Health Training Center. Great pass inside. Penda getting up. And that was all set up there by Akeze. And that is something that you love to see out of a 7-1 center, the playmaking ability. And that is also the second time that Penda has been able to create separation, cut to the basket, and get himself an easy 2 points. And a deep 3 on the way. Up and in for Shek Niang. Wish. My goodness, that was from the other side of California, but he didn't care. Now Barr down low in the hands of Akeze. Draws the double team. You see Penda on your screen cutting and calling for the ball. Akeze trying to make a move, and we'll get a reach-in foul on Santos. And the good players, even though this is their first time playing with a lot of these guys, sometimes it just takes a game and a half to really get the chemistry with some of your teammates. And I think already starting to see that, specifically with the tandem of Akeze and Penda. Last couple possessions have kind of been working a nice little two-man game. Doing it again. Penda fires a triple, rattles out. Niang soars high for the board. Wasting no time, and rejected on the other end by Gerbar. Says, get that out of here. Entering that crunch time stage of this game. 4:48 remaining in our second half. 3-ball up. Too strong there from Niang. Second chance, though. It's Santos. That one drops in with ease. So that'll give the Bulls a 28-26 lead. Nuggets were leading for the majority of this game, but now the Bulls are up for a moment as we are now back tied at 28. Easy finish there from Akeze. Deep three on the way from Musa. Oh my goodness. The three-point party has started in Los Angeles. These players are letting it fly, and we know the NBA has become a three-point league, and fans love seeing those deep threes fall. You're seeing a lot of that right now from these young ball players. And the Bulls specifically, last two possessions have been three-pointers. We'll get some substitutions now for the final 3:52 of this contest. See right there on the right of your screen, the Clippers and the Hawks warming up for the championship game that will take place on center stage here shortly after this game is concluded. 3-ball off the inbound, drops in for Jackson Ball. It's just a three-point barrage right now from the Bulls and the Nuggets. Tied up at 31. Another three, and that one can't go, but the rebound goes in the hands there of Usarui. Double pump, can't finish. And here come the Nuggets in transition. Jackson Ball down low in the hands of Window. One-on-one in the post. Window, the turn, the fire, and the miss. As the pace continues to ramp up here in LA. On the other end, drawing the foul is Jaden Anike out of the Netherlands. And Anike will head to the line. He plays in Spain right now, actually, for Zentro Academy. He's 17 years old, as he'll have a chance to give his squad a lead here with a make from the free throw line. Shot is up and can't fall. Our score remains tied at 31. Less than 3 minutes remain here in the third place match of this Basketball Without Borders All-Star event. Window, left wing three, wide open, nothing but net. We're going to mark it as a long two. So the Nuggets will take a 33-31 lead, 2.5 to play. Sularski dumps a pass down low now in the hands of Usarui. Right hand hook shot can't go. And it's going to be a travel on Bilady. He grabbed the rebound. It was a nice effort, just wasn't able to control it as cleanly as he anticipated to. The Bulls will get a do-over here. It is crunch time. 2 minutes approaching here in this third place game. Inside, Solarski gets fouled. Late whistle, but that'll earn him a trip to the line, and he can tie the game up with a made free throw here. Solarski's free throw's on the way, and that one rattles out. So that is the second time the Bulls had a chance to get the lead either tied or actually take the lead with the free throw, but have missed the last couple times they've been at the stripe. Floater's up and no good from Bielaby. Turnover though, and an and one for the Nuggets. How about that? It's an and one for Clark Luca Riethauser. And the and one gives him 3 points. No free throw that we take here. It's just 3 points you get awarded right away. So that's big for the Nuggets because that gives them a 2-possession lead with just 1:40 remaining in our game. Now it's Anike with it near the right wing. Oh, lifting and shifting his way inside, trying to use glass, can't get it to go. Ball batted around, rebound corralled by Window. Lob pass up on the other end, missed dunk. Put back though is up and in for an and one by Matis Mop, getting fired up. So you had Bielaby trying to throw the house down. He almost made it, and Bielaby standing at just 6'4". It's about to throw down a grown man dunk. We get a timeout on the floor, but Mop, a nice job getting the rebound and then the putback, and that is back-to-back and ones for the Nuggets, who have now taken an 8-point lead here over the Bulls as this third-place game is winding down, and we have definitely seen probably some of the most exciting couple of minutes here recently, just for all the action we've seen so far today, folks. I mean, you're talking about players that have really come out here. They're impressing coaches and scouts. They're settling in. You got to remember that these are just 17 and 18-year-old kids, but just some of the moves that these young ball players already have in their bag is really special. And it shows you the skills that they're able to develop. Maybe they're trying out some of the tricks that they learned here at this camp today, or the camp put on this weekend by the NBA. They've been here for a couple days and wrapping up things here with these prolific, entertaining all-star games. And now, as this third-place game wraps up, the Bulls will try to make one final push, trailing by 8 with 1:22 remaining. And saving some time there very wisely is Fale. Surveys the floor, gets it in the hands now of Anike. Back in the hands of Fale. 1:10 remaining. Fale will turn, shoot, miss, rebound, easily corralled by Mop, saying, "Give me that." We're down to a minute. Nuggets on the verge of securing that third place spot in the stretch of all-star games. Looking down low for Window there was Jackson Ball, and Window got fouled on the floor by Usarui. Window's going to head to the line here for a pair of free throws now that we're in the final minute. First free throw can't fall. If you're just joining us in this game, Nuggets had a pretty good lead for most of this contest. The Bulls rallied back. They actually tied things up a little bit as Window misses both free throws, but the Nuggets have been able to go on a little bit of a run here in the latter stages of the second half to have this 8-point advantage with just a little over 40 seconds remaining. Attacking inside, getting rejected by Usarui. Put back unsuccessful there by Bielaby, but another rebound there by Window, and he'll earn himself yet another trip to the free throw line. And that's really just been the difference maker recently. The Nuggets are just crashing the glass. They're fighting for the loose balls. They're creating those extra opportunities. They're getting to the line. And it's earning them some extra points here as you see Window drain his first free throw. Both of these teams coming off a loss in the semifinals, but now in this third place game, one team will get a win, and right now it's looking like the Nuggets. Look at that hustle by Jackson Ball. My goodness. The New Zealander showcasing some skill here. That was a heck of a play, man. Talk about the effort. You know, even though we're in the final seconds of this game pretty much decided as Window with the exclamation point. 43-31, Nuggets take a 12-point lead. That's Window's third dunk of the showcase. 8 seconds remain. The Nuggets are not done yet. The lob up to Window. And a little right-hand finish will end things up from Riethauser as it is over. Showtime in LA. The Nuggets playing some great ball down the stretch. They beat the Bulls 45-31 in our third place game. An excellent response here from a Nuggets team that lost their first game to the Atlanta Hawks, but we'll be able to say that they at least took one win, as the Bulls will drop to 0-2, but still a very respectable effort by those young men out there from the side of the Hawks. And see both teams in their post-game line saying good game. We've got another good game, maybe even a greater game coming up, because it is our championship game coming up on the other side, folks. It is going to be a lot of fun. We'll see the Atlanta Hawks take on the Los Angeles Clippers, who will be crowned the champion of this Basketball Without Borders event here in All-Star Weekend. We'll find out in just a moment. We'll take a quick break, and then we're back for our championship game right after this on the NBA app and the Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel. Welcome back into our Basketball Without Borders coverage here on the NBA app and the Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel. Wendell Epps here live, bringing you today's coverage of our All-Star games. We just saw our third place match wrap up. The Bulls losing to the Nuggets, but now we're about to crown the one. We got a championship game coming up here between the Atlanta Hawks and the Los Angeles Clippers. Both teams won their semifinals matchups, and now we'll go toe-to-toe to see which team will be crowned the champion of our Basketball Without Borders All-Star Games. And the great thing about this event, and obviously it's been going on all throughout weekend, this All-Star weekend at camp, and a lot of great events happening, a lot of great former NBA players, Vlade Divac, Danilo Gallinari serving as coaches as part of this weekend's events as well. But you've got a series of awards that also will be handed out to these young men shortly after the conclusion, after the championship game. There will be a player that will be named the MVP. There will also be a defensive MVP awarded, a sportsmanship award, three-point champion award. So that is also the great thing about these camps, is there will be some players taking a little bit of recognition, some hardware away from this as well. And those of you just tuning in, I'd mentioned in one of our first broadcasts actually about some former NBA players that have participated throughout these NBA All-Star camps with Basketball Without Borders. And a player recently that's in the NBA that won an MVP back in 2024 was Will Riley. So, sometimes, that might not be a full indication that just because you win MVP here, you're going to the NBA, but it certainly can give you a lot of confidence moving forward as you continue to develop your game, and a lot of high-ranked prospects out here as well. As we've got the Hawks and the Clippers. Let's do it, folks. Let's crown a champion. This game is officially underway. 2 8-minute halves. We get started here. First possession. Quick take right away here from the Clippers. That's Ignas Stombergas, and he draws a foul. Stombergas out of Lithuania, a country that's also produced a couple NBA players throughout the past couple years. And actually had a Basketball Without Borders alumni in Kasper Siakachonis, who participated in the Basketball Without Borders All-Star Camp back in 2024. So just a few short years ago, now look where he is now on the Miami Heat. And he's actually been playing some pretty decent minutes, especially shortly before the All-Star break, was racking up a couple starts. So goes to show you how quickly life can change. You can be playing in a Basketball Without Borders camp, and then just a little less than 2 years, you can get drafted into the NBA. Oh my goodness, look at that spin move. That is a way to start a championship game if you're the Hawks. Tio Milic out of Poland, making a statement. He's locked in defensively too, activating the clamps. This is our first broadcast of the Clippers. This is a Clippers team that's got a mix of Central America and European players on their roster. And they have 4 players hailing from Central America, 6 Europeans. As in transition, we almost had a poster alert on display. Peter Julius was trying to go for the home run, but he was able to draw a foul. And this is the Hawks team that is, if you look at height-wise, they are the tallest team out of the 4 teams participating in these All-Star games. 3 guys listed at 6'10" or taller, 10 players from 10 different countries, so you are getting as much versatility and variety as far as play style, international heritage goes. And the fact that both of these teams already got a win, they got a win for a reason. These presumably are the 2 most talented teams that we are seeing here on display right now. We had a great third place game, but I think you're already seeing, starting in this championship game, the fundamentals and skill sets already being displayed early in this contest. Noah Elbaz will inbound it here for the Clippers. Lobs a pass into Karalic out of Serbia. Spins his way inside. Can't finish as the shot clock expires. Good rebound there from Peter Julius. Here comes Milic inside. A little out of control, loses the ball, and possession will stay, though, with the Hawks. Turnaround shot, trying to go in for Ilic. Can't get it to go. Second effort's up. That one can't fall either, as we remain tied here at 4 apiece. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Clippers. Expanding on just some of the guys that have been able to play at this Basketball Without Borders All-Star game. Kamal Malawach, another player that was able to take home the defensive MVP during his time here, the MVP as well, and he really was a standout, and obviously with his frame being a 7-footer, and he continued that success playing his college ball at Duke, and now on the Phoenix Suns, as we'll get a dunk there. Clippers will take a 6-4 lead. That was Rikards Iceports out of Latvia. Latvia, another interesting country. Kristaps Porzingis, probably the most notable player out of that country that's been able to succeed in the NBA. As Iceports will throw an overhead pass into the hands of Kennard Callender out of the Virgin Islands. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover for the Clippers as the Hawks will take the ball back. Here's Milic with it. As the Hawks trail by 2 early in this first half. Attacking inside, Udoka, the Jays on the way, nothing but net for the German. Now Elbaz trying to answer with a bucket of his own. He can't. The second follow there can't go. The Hawks will move fast on the other end and reject it. Oh my goodness, look at that block there from Callender. Said, get that out of here. But the rebound by Julius. Double team on that left corner. That is always the most dangerous spot to get double teamed at on the floor as we remain tied at 6 apiece. The NBA All-Star Game happening here later this afternoon. 4 All-Stars were former Basketball Without Borders All-Stars themselves, and Benny Avdia currently averaging a career-high 25 points a game for the Portland Trail Blazers. This will be his first All-Star game, first coming out of Israel, 9th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft. Jamal Murray, first-time All-Star out of Canada. Pascal Siakam, and of course Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, last year's MVP, also an alumni of Basketball Without Borders. And we get a foul on the other end, you can go on with a full list of alumni, other notable guys. Josh Giddey out of Australia, Benedict Mathurin, Lauri Markkanen, RJ Barrett, DeAndre Ayton. A couple of those guys, of course, I named #1 overall picks in the NBA draft, but a lot of those other guys either lottery picks or high-end picks in the draft. And that is the beauty of this event. You just never know who could be next in line to be in an NBA uniform. And that is not just the great thing about this Basketball Without Borders event, but just all the Future Starts Now events that we get to broadcast on the NBA app and all our NBA digital platforms. Is you get to really see who is next in line here in the future of basketball. As we'll get an offensive foul there on Elbaz. And Elbaz was a 2025 Basketball Without Borders Africa All-Star. Well, they do a lot of different camps all throughout the year, different regions, parts of the world. But right now, LA is the site of this camp with Basketball Without Borders. Our championship game right now between the Hawks and the Clippers. Hawks currently leading 8-6 here with 4:09 remaining in our first half. 29 different countries being represented, 40 players in total. That's Dombergas, looks in the hands of Elbaz, kicks it out now to the right corner. Attacking inside, floaters up and in for Karalic, can't fall. And here come the Hawks in transition. Milic, they're going to say he stepped on the line out of bounds. And possession will flip back over to the Clippers. Get some substitutions now out on the floor. Both of these teams trying to settle back in because our third place game, you know, those teams, even though they had lost the semifinals, they didn't get any rest or time to kind of relax. They jumped right back out on the floor, which sometimes, you know, if you're a player that's well conditioned, it could be an advantage because you're like, all right, let's just hop back on. I'm already in game shape. But these two teams did have to sit and wait for that third place game to finish. They were warming up on the other court, but as far as live game action, it's still been about roughly 25 minutes since they played their semifinals games. As the jumper is up and in, the bank is open on a Sunday in LA. We're tied at 8 apiece. Good bucket drops in for Jahmai Drayton out of Trinidad and Tobago. And the answer on the other end for the Hawks as they take now a 2-point lead. It's Anderson Diaz getting that one to fall as Diaz lobs a pass up and a dunk in transition for Lyris Robinson. Robinson is a solid ball player. He's considered a top 100 prospect in the class of 2027. Plays over at the prestigious Bella Vista Prep. As now we're starting to see the scoring really starting to drop here on both sides. Both teams trading those baskets back and forth. This is Diaz with it right near the top of the key. Drives inside, picks up his dribble, turns, fires, and hits. That gives the Hawks a 4-point lead now. There's Felipe Quiones Garcia out of Puerto Rico. Down low in the hands of Silbergason. He finishes with a nice right-hand hook shot. Talk about those Lithuanians. A lot of good bigs from Lithuania have been developed throughout the years. Trudis Ilgauskas, Jonas Valanciunas. As a dunk on the other end. A grown man dunk at that. That was Caleb Urigu with the slam out of the Ivory Coast. And that dunk was so mean, you had to get a timeout to settle things down. So 16-12, the Hawks lead by 4 over the Clippers. So welcome you back here on cam right now. 16-12, Hawks leading the Clippers in this Basketball Without Borders All-Star Championship game. We saw our third place game take place right before this with the Nuggets defeating the Bulls, and now we're wrapping things up. Appreciate everyone joining us today on the NBA app, Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel. Wendell Epps here to bring you today's coverage, and as our coverage winds down right now, this championship game is going to be interesting to see, especially as we head into the second half, which players will really start to stand out. Kind of right now, it's been a team effort, which you definitely love to see. These players, I think, are doing a nice job of getting their guys involved and not really playing a 1-on-5 game, but obviously in clutch situations, somebody's going to have to kind of take over and somebody's going to have to get the big buckets down the stretch. So who will it be? We will see, but we got plenty of time as this first half still has 152 remaining to see how things can shape up before we hit halftime. Three ball is up and in. Nothing but net for the Clippers straight out of the timeout. That is exactly how you want to come out of a timeout if you're the Clippers. Cuts the lead down to 1. Diaz gets a screen now. Drives inside and finishes with the left hand. And moving fast is Quiones Garcia as the floater is up. Can't drop, gets his second chance. That one rattles home. Moving on the racetrack right now, folks. Diaz, a 3-ball. Front of the rim, no good. Rebound goes in the hands of Urigu. Long 3. Long. Second chance. This is Benedict. Looking down low, but the pass is intercepted. 3-on-3 on the other end. Top of the key, 3-ball on the way. Drops in for Jahmai Drayton. And a rejection on the other end by Callender. My goodness. The two-way play being on display. Seconds remain in our first half as a turnover. Quiones Garcia's the lob, and the nice finish there by Eisborst. And we are just continuing to move faster and faster. Here we go, folks. 14 seconds. These players are wanting to score. Now we'll get a little bit of pause here as 5 seconds now remain. Quiones Garcia attacks inside. Kicks it out. 1 second remaining. Turnover to Hugh from full court. Does not go, and it is officially halftime. As the Clippers and the Hawks battling hard there in that first half. 22-18 is your score through one half of play. Both of these teams bringing the energy and the pace. My goodness, folks. How about just the fast-paced energy from both of these teams? Really doing a great effort offensively and defensively. I think you're starting to see these teams hoping that they can wear out the other, but it looks like both teams are like, hey, we're ready to play fast-paced basketball, and that's what we're getting. So we'll get one more half here, and then We will see who will be our Basketball Without Borders All-Star champion this year in 2026 as part of many events happening at the All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles. Of course, LA has been able to host All-Star Weekend a couple times, but this is the first time that they've been able to host it since the Basketball Without Borders have done their All-Star camp at All-Star Weekend, which started all the way back in 2015, which was the year that New York was the host of All-Star Weekend, and have been many sites that they've been able to take this camp to for All-Star Weekend. Toronto, New York, Charlotte, and of course in recent years, Indianapolis, Salt Lake City, San Francisco. But here in LA, as our second half now is officially underway. 22-18, Clippers lead the Hawks. 8 minutes on the clock. One more half before we can crown a champion here. And a turnover to begin this first half for the Hawks, who started off the game probably actually a little bit more composed than the Clippers. But I felt like the Clippers really started to settle in there in that end of the first half, and it's the reason they've got this 4-point lead to begin this frame. Shot goes up, no good, but a foul. As Ignas Stombergas will head to the line. One shot worth 2 points. If you're just joining us, this is our third game that we are showing live here at the Basketball Without Borders All-Star Game here in the NBA app and Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel. We had a semifinal matchup between the Hawks and the Nuggets where the Hawks were able to defeat the Nuggets, and then had our third place game featuring the Nuggets taking on the Bulls, who lost to the Clippers in their semifinal matchup. But now we've got this championship game to wrap things up, as another foul, this time, will be assessed on the Clippers. And Ricard's Iceporst is the guilty party there. So now free throw will come up for Jamie Udoka. And Germany, I think probably right next to France, might be the most intriguing country in terms of future talent in the NBA. You talk about the Wagner brothers, Franz and Mo. Franz, still just 24 years old, on the Orlando Magic, and one of the rising stars in this league. Obviously, Dennis Schroeder has been at it for quite some time. And, that German team, you can just never count them out. It just seems like they're always excelling at the international stage. Recently winning Eurobasket last year as well. The jumper's on the way, and that jumper can't fall for Elbaz. Ball batted around. And good hustle, as here come the Clippers. Keonis Garcia lobs a pass up, and the jam is completed by Stombergas. Woo! How about the Clippers taking an 8-point lead now? Trying to answer with a three, and he does is Gesa Basato hitting that triple there. Good true three ball for him, as the Hawks are now within 5. And a three ball is answered on the other end. Anything you can do, I can do better. The Clippers now take an 8-point lead with 6.5 remaining here. Kind of similar to our third place game, we started to see more threes attempted in the second half, and we're seeing that in our championship game as well. Three ball from Udoka, too strong. Why not another three? And that one can't drop for Iceporst. As we approach 6 minutes here in our second half. Clippers lead by 8. Milic drives inside. Can't get the bucket to go, but he is fouled. And he will get a trip to the free throw line here. Milic, one of 2 players from Poland in this event. As this free throw drops in. Elbaz fires a pass out in the hands of Kralic out of Serbia. Back into the hands of Elbaz. He'll attack inside. Whips it out into the hands of Ice Pores. He can't hit the three. Rebound goes in the hands of Milic. Looking down low there for Julius, but it's intercepted. Ball's deflected out of bounds. Possession will remain here with the Clippers. Jonas Garcia steps in near the elbow, goes behind the back. Trying to make a move here with 5 on the shot clock. Gonna have to put something up. Jonas Garcia drives in, can't finish. Good defense there from the side of the Hawks. As they'll try to cut this lead down a little bit more, and they do. Nice left-hand finish there by Gesabastako. Peter Julius, good defense inside that low block, said you ain't scoring on me. And the Hawks will take it on the other end. They can make it a one-possession game with the bucket. Shot is up and rat-a-tat-tat, it dropped in there for Milic. We've had a nice little showing here in this contest for the Hawks. And you see the Hawks bench on your screen saying defense. How special is that? You got 5 players that don't even play with each other on a regular basis. You can just see the chemistry they've got for their squad. And obviously they've been together throughout this camp just a few short days, but that is a sign of young men that are on their way to a successful basketball career, but honestly just a successful life, just showcasing their characteristics of character and team play. And that is why there is a sportsmanship award at this camp. And that is probably a lot of good players that can be in consideration for that, because as much as your talents are important in the game of basketball and in the NBA, I feel like you're starting to see a lot more in these professional basketball leagues. They value good human beings as well. Players that can be good culture guys, great locker room guys. You hear it all the time from GMs, scouts, and coaches saying we want to build a great positive culture for our organization. And that is something that is so important in today's game of basketball and in the NBA specifically. We'll get some more substitutions out on the floor for both the Clippers and the Hawks. 3:54 remains in our championship game. Tight contest on tap. It's anybody's contest, anybody's game. As Elbaz will inbound it here for the Clippers. Jonas Garcia gets a screen from Drayton, fires a tray ball. Too long. The ball is corralled there by Isaac Porras. Here's Diaz with it. Has it right near that free throw line. Overhead pass out to the right wing. Attacking inside, little up and under. No good, but foul is drawn. And that's Kenrico Benedict out of Japan, who will head to the free throw line now. Japan's been able to see a couple guys play out in the NBA. Yuta Watanabe. Of course, the famous Yuki, standing at just about 5'8", and the highest draft pick of them all, Rui Hachimura, 9th pick in the 2019 NBA draft by the Washington Wizards. Spent a few years there, and now with the Los Angeles Lakers. 3:18 remaining. Attacking inside, and a rejection there by Lyris Robinson. Get up, get up, get up. Robinson's a fundamentally sound player. He's good offensively, but his defense probably is one of the more stronger aspects of his game. And he's shown that with a pair of blocks, actually, in this championship game so far, as aggressively inside, scoring is Kennard Callender. That's a big bucket there for the Clippers. Gives them a 4-point lead as we approach the 3-minute mark. Here's Diaz going up through 3 defenders, drawing a foul, and he'll get a free throw worth 2 points coming up. So Anderson Diaz out of the Dominican Republic, who plays for Overtime Elite. He's a top 30 prospect in the class of 2027. Was a 2025 Basketball Without Borders America All-Star. So he's participated in a couple camps here with BWB. Misses the free throw, so the Clippers stay up by 4 right now. As Brnovich swings it in the hands of Jahmai Drayton. He'll fire a rainbow jumper. Too strong. Rebound goes in the hands of Collender. Up and under. Unsuccessful, but he draws a foul, and that's all he needed. Got his team a second chance opportunity, and also will have a chance to get his club a couple more points here at the Shred. Free throw is up and can't go, and that's good news for the Hawks because that means that they can make it a one-possession game with the made field goal here. And they do very easily. The Hawks are able to trim the lead down to 2 that was set up there by Anderson Diaz. And he was able to find the scoring party right there in Caleb Ugu, and we'll get a turnover on the other end. Got word that might have stepped out of bounds, but actually possession is going to stay with the Clippers. So the Hawks will not get the ball. It'll be the Clippers who will retain possession. 2:10 remains in our championship game. Clippers lead 33-31. Ice loses the ball. There's a turnover. Benedict lobs it up in the hands of Diaz. He'll go up. Oh my goodness! The flashy up and under falls in. We're tied at 33. Now Keonis Garcia on the other end. The right-hand floater drops in. Big bucket as the Clippers take a 35-33 lead. Diaz trying to answer. Second time. He can't. Clippers are not showing any signs of slowing down. Keonis Garcia down low into the hands of Collender for the finish. Timeout Hawks. Wow. Talk about a sequence there. You had a bucket from the Clippers, then you got a bucket from the Hawks, and then the Clippers said, we're going to score again. And they did just that. They now lead 37-33. That builds a little bit of a cushion now with less than 2 minutes remaining in this game, and that's big news for them. And it's a good timeout here called by the Hawks because this is without a doubt going to be their biggest offensive possession of the game. They're going to have to find a way to get a bucket here, and we know it's no secret, I think, those of you that have been watching these past couple minutes, and definitely those of you that have been watching this entire game, these two teams are very fast. There is a lot of talent on display. They've got guards that know how to push the break, but they've also got bigs and wings that know how to get open, that know how to run the floor and create opportunities to try and score. So it'll be interesting to see what a late game situation looks like just based off these two teams' play styles, because the Clippers have been playing fast all game and it's been working. But of course, being up by 4, and if they're still up as these seconds continue to wind down, they don't really need to really rush things. They can kind of slow down and try and milk some clock. But let's see. 1:35 remains. We've got a Basketball Without Borders All-Star champion to crown. Will it be the Clippers or will it be the Hawks? Urigu down low, loses the ball. Great defense by the Clippers coming out of the timeout. Now they can settle. And Keonis Garcia will do that. Whips a bounce pass in the hands of Collender. Driving inside, drawing a foul on the floor. And we'll get an inbound side out. Shot clock set to 14, game clock 1:13. Here's Keonis Garcia. Gets a screen. Drives inside, lob up, and a finish. What a lob by Collender, completing the dunk on that play, you want to call that? Diaz trying to answer, rejected by Collender on the other end of the floor. Making an impact on both ends of the floor is the young fella out of the Virgin Islands. But just the awareness from Keonis Garcia to see the cutting man in Callender, and Callender showcasing his versatility and his vertical leap, getting up there to finish for 2 points. Lyris Robinson drives inside and gets blocked. Possession will stay with the Hawks. They could really use a bucket here. Milic to Diaz. Robinson loses the ball. And that might just put the Clippers on the verge of being crowned the Basketball Without Borders champions. As Keonis Garcia's got it. You're hearing some chatters of foul, but he'll lob it up instead. The miss, the putback, trying to go up is Sombergas, and he is fouled. But the Clippers have just been making the clutch plays down the stretch. And yes, they've had some flashy plays offensively, but really, folks, it's been the defense. I mean, the last couple of possessions, right, they have forced the Hawks to commit turnovers. That's resulted in not just them gaining extra possessions, but also not letting the Hawks rack up more points. And you're seeing the end result of that being the Clippers up by 7 now with 24 seconds remaining here in this contest. Sombergas can make a free throw here, can give it an 8-point lead, and he does. 41-33, Clippers lead. Final seconds of our championship game. Diaz, a pull-up three from the left wing. Air ball. And that will just about do it. We're about 12 seconds before it's official. But how fitting is it that the team that is called the Los Angeles Clippers is the team that is going to be crowned your Basketball Without Borders All-Star champions here in 2026. It is over. The Clippers win it all. 41-33, they knock off the Hawks in a thrilling championship match that was competitive from start to finish. We saw a little bit of everything. Three-pointers, dunks, steals, blocks, you name it. It was an incredible game all throughout, and we saw our semifinals and saw our championship game as well. The Basketball Without Borders event, certainly one of the most prestigious events out there, and a great event that the NBA puts on, letting the next generation of these international prospects be on full display. So we'll take a break here. Basketball Without Borders All-Star Games coverage completed. 41-33 is your final score as the Clippers win it all. And that will do it for today's coverage of our Basketball Without Borders game. We saw a lot of great talent on display, and certainly will be exciting to see in the coming years of who will be next up in our international basketball player stage, especially when it comes for these NBA players in the near future. Appreciate everyone tuning in today on the NBA app and the Basketball Without Borders YouTube channel as well. Once again, my name's Wendell Epps. Thank you to our fantastic crew, our producer Alex Young. I'm Wendell Epps saying so long. We will catch you next time on the NBA Future Starts Now. Have a great day, everybody.